Hello and welcome to a Business Minute with Lily Lopez, presented by the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Today with Dr. Olveen Carrasquillo, Professor Olveen Carrasquillo of the University of Miami Health System, UHealth, better known as UHealth. And we're going to be talking about health disparities. I happen to serve on an advisory board that he chairs, and he's going to give us a lot of information about that because health disparities, until I started serving this board, I had no idea. And it got to the point that after learning so much about all these disparities, we started doing the health disease, the heart disease awareness, may I say, and I learned that heart disease is the #1 killer when everybody, and I for one, thought that it was cancer. So it's just amazing what a normal individual, just regular person without any science background gets to learn when I'm surrounded by people like you, so extremely knowledgeable. And I wanted to bring you to the show and talk to the members about all these health disparities, about obesity, about everything that is happening in the United States, because this even is bad for our national security, because pretty soon we won't have anybody physically able to serve in the military, because I saw a map recently that says that the whole U.S. is obese, the population. So Dr. Carrasquillo, I am so honored to be here with you, and thank you for your time. So tell me about the board that I serve in because of you, which I've learned so much, and what is happening in our nation.
Thank you, Lily. And we here at the University of Miami, Clinical Translational Sciences, we're very concerned. We don't, this whole thing, heart disease, cancer, at the end of the day, they're all caused by the same things, which is bad diets, bad lifestyle, obesity. Everyone thinks of it causing heart disease, but it can actually even cause cancer. So it's a risk factor for many, many things. And the real good thing I like about your project, a lot of these problems start when people are very young and children. If we're going to address these problems, by the time somebody needs bypass surgery and angioplasty, that's too late.
It's too late.
We got to start when people are young and teach them at a very early age about good nutrition, exercise. We want to prevent these things. As doctors, we don't want to be treating them. We'd rather not see them in the clinic. I'd rather see people to keep them healthy and not to treat their illness. And that's what we really want to focus on.
That's what it's all about. And Dr. Carrasquillo has been kind, very kind, to be a part of our Healthier Kids for a Future program that's presented by Cigna, where we service so many families from Centro Mater, which is Little Havana, Hialeah Gardens, and we're teaching them. And it's so important because we see that, and I was, prior to starting the show, I was telling you about several members of my board and members in general that have passed away because at a certain point in time, they were very overweight, and sometimes, like you say, by the time you get on a diet, it's already late. The damage has been done. So what do you see in people, the age factor? When do you have to, I think you have to start at a very young age to eat healthy and exercise, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's become such a major national problem in the last few decades. I mean, the rates have skyrocketed. They've hit the Latino community much harder, really, really sad. I'm an adult doctor, so, I treat adults, but I really wish they could have all started earlier with their kids. All our pediatricians tell me it's all about the life cycle. It all starts when people are young, and that's exactly where we need to intervene. By the time I get them, they're 60, they're already getting the heart attacks and the other problems too late. When they're 30s, 40s, diabetes, hypertension, that's already too late. You really got to start when people are young, really teach the healthy lifestyles. And as parents, we got to be role model for kids. We got to do that because then we role model that behavior to them. But it really starts in childhood.
In childhood, and Dr. Carrasquillo, we saw now during the pandemic that the majority of the people that ended up being hospitalized were the people that were overweight, the people with diabetes, with heart disease, comorbidities. So tell us about that. Did you? What numbers did you? Is it true? Because I read about it. So it's true, right?
We have a major project tracking COVID disparities. It was really hard, especially early on. How the Black, how the Latino communities, the Native Americans, we got hit much, much harder. And part of that reason was because a lot of these risk factors.
That we're talking about,
these higher rates of obesity. And some of it was we're essential healthcare workers, so we had to come to work. We live in big families, but also many of us have a lot of these underlying conditions that put us at high risk for COVID. And so we're trying to do a lot of education for the next, whatever pandemic is. We got to treat these underlying causes, because if we don't get rid of the, COVID will eventually go away.
Exactly.
Please.
But you have the flu, and people die of the flu too.
Yes, exactly.
Because
of that, obesity puts you at higher risk. So we got to be, we got to treat health not as a pandemic, as a crisis. whatever it is, we got to prevent it. And attacking problems like obesity or many of the other fundamentals. Smoking is another one, but we got to tackle all these problems that started, smoking also starts, in adolescence. So we got to treat all these problems when people are young so that then we don't get into, more serious illnesses later on.
And it's education, and just giving this message, getting the message out.
Yeah, and some people, they just don't know. So your program, you teach about cooking, right?
Yeah, we teach about cooking,
How to cook healthy foods. I mean, some people actually don't know.
No.
And this is why this is really important, because you're getting the message out there. Having a doctor, you have to eat healthy, is not the same.
Broccoli and spinach.
It's not the same as having somebody teaching you, this is how you cook healthy. This is how you make healthy food for your family.
And it could be delicious.
And it's exactly. Many people think, Latinos, the food is really bad. It's all fat. It's all grease. And it's not true. We have a lot of healthy food in our diet. And you're teaching people how to make advantage of the foods we eat. So that's why this is really important. And that's why I'm so glad you're doing this.
And I'm very happy that you're helping us and you're collaborating. And that means the world to us, that you're able to provide your insight. I mean, we're talking to one of the most important doctors here in UHealth, and he's amazing. And I've known you for so many years. And I thank you so much for your time and for being on a Business Minute with Lily Lopez. Any last minute advice?
Yes.
To the members, yes.
Eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Do at least 45 minutes of exercise at least 4 to 5 times a week.
Avocado. I love avocado. They say it's very good. It's one of the best foods, right?
We call it aguacate, but it's delicious.
Aguacate. No, pero buenísimo. It's a fruit.
Yeah.
It's a fruit.
But anyway, thank you, Lily. This is a great program, and thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely, and thank you, Dr. Carrasquillo, for your very valuable time. And we'll see you all next week at the same time, and thank you for tuning to another episode of A Business Minute with Lily Lopez.